Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
Beautiful day here in North Carolina, clear blue and 22.
All right. Fantastic. And our topic today is redefining retirement. When full retirement looks like semi-retirement. Alan, traditional retirement used to mean leaving the workforce completely. Why is that model becoming outdated for so many Americans today?
One thing is cost, healthcare cost. The cost of everything's going up and up. Hardly anybody has a pension anymore, Neil, and they don't have enough money to take care of their retirement. That's the number one fear in retirement, is running out of money before you run out of life. And without that pension, people are investing in their 401k. And 401ks don't cut it when it comes to retirement. We've gone over this time, but they need to have a complete plan for retirement. They need to have guaranteed income. Because you have to have guaranteed income just to mitigate or eliminate the number one risk of retirement is running out of money before you run out of life.
Numbers show nearly 40% of Americans expect to work during retirement. In your experience, is that more about financial need, or is it about staying engaged?
Well, I think it's both. There's always the financial need. Like people, you don't know how they do it. They're working Walmart greeter or whatever. It doesn't make any difference. They're 80 years old, some of these people. But a lot of people work because they want something to do. I know when I retired from the Army, I retired in 1993. I only had 21 years in. But I know sergeant majors that had 30, 35 years in. And when they retired, 6 months after they retired, they died. It's just a physical, I don't know what physical impact of the body or what, but they're not used to not doing anything. And I can't imagine. Like I said, Neil, I'm 72. I can't imagine not being, because I could retire right now if I wanted to. But I don't want to. I want to work. I want to do something. And not being able to do something in retirement not only affects your health, but it affects your relationships with other people.
100%. It totally does. And I think that it just depends on the reason. It's better Alan, to retire and work still, even though you don't have to, versus being forced to work because you don't have the money.
That's absolutely right. Just one of the biggest financial risks is running out of money before you run out of life, like I said. And they'll assume they'll work retirement. Here's the other big problem they've got. What if they can't work due to health or job availability? There's a lot of discrimination going on for people my age and 65 and up. And their jobs are not available.
They totally aren't. What income strategies or tools do you recommend for those entering a semi-retirement phase?
First off, they need to understand it's not about rate of return in your portfolio. It's about distribution of your assets. And one of the strategies that I use, I tell people to set them up with a fixed indexed annuity or a fixed annuity that eliminates the number one fear in retirement, running out of money before you run out of life. But as an example, Neil, and I've said this before in many of my podcasts, you got $1 million in a stock portfolio at a safe distribution rate of 4%. That's 4% of that $1 million is $40,000, but that's not guaranteed. You'd only need approximately $650,000 at age 65 in certain fixed index annuities to give you the same $40,000, and that's guaranteed. It's not for 30 years. It's guaranteed for the rest of your life, up to 120 if you live that long. And it also can be used for you and your spouse. It's a 0.5% less because the insurance companies are insuring to live. You're protected from market losses because you're guaranteed by contract never to have a market loss, to never have a monetary loss due to market loss, because we're not tied to the market. We use indexing strategies to increase our cash value. And here's a big thing, Neil. When you annuitize that contract and say you get $40,000, if your indexing strategy goes up the next year, you get an increase in pay, and that's locked in. Never lose it. And even if that accumulation value runs out in that fixed index annuity, the insurance company still has to pay you because it's by contract.
How can people adjust their budgets or cash flow strategies to support a phased retirement lifestyle?
Well, first thing to do, definitely adjust your budget. How many times do you go out to eat? Going out to eat for two people, it's $50 or more. And if you've got a family of four, oh my God, it's unbelievable. I don't know how people do it. I see people out there all the time. And think about some of the vices you do. These people go Starbucks every day and get a $5 cup of coffee or more than that. I had a secretary that worked for me. Every day she got a $5 cup of coffee. And I said, you worked the first hour for nothing. I paid a little bit more than that. But it's just crazy about things that people do and they're just not prepared for. They need planning. As I said, people spend more time planning their summer vacation than they do their retirement.
For someone listening who's unsure if full retirement is realistic or even desirable, what's your best advice for redefining what retirement means to them?
Well, exactly. You've got to have something in your mind. What do I want to do when I retire? Do I want to travel? Do I want to play golf? Do I want to play tennis? Whatever. Or do I want to spend time with my grandkids? My wife retired many years ago. She spends a lot of time with her grandkids, and she's very happy with that. But I can't do that. I'd go nuts if I didn't do anything and just play with the grandkids all the time. Of course, it's great to do that. But you've got to have a plan of what you want to do. And that plan also has to take in health consideration, because that's something that people are not taking in consideration. And that's long-term care risk. Which I said, Neil, 70% of everybody in America will need long-term care at some point in their life. And right now it costs between $50,000 to $200,000 a year.
And that's where they are not prepared, and they're not looking at their health, Alan, to be able to do that. And so the best place to call you is at 910-551-1046, or go to strategicwealthstrategies.com, or email you at strategicwealth0@gmail.com. And one thing that you do that some people don't do, and when you meet with people, you don't charge for a consultation. Explain that.
No, I don't charge for consultation, Neil. What I want to do is educate people on financial strategies the wealthy and the lending institutions have been using for years. Tragic things happen to me. That's why I'm in this business right now for my family. And all it is a matter of education. And 99% of the people that I talk to include CPAs, attorneys, and financial advisory, have no idea what I'm talking about. So all I want to do is educate people. And sometimes they go 2 to 3 hours long, and I'm not going to charge you for it. I want to educate you.
All right. Go to strategicwealthstrategies.com. Appreciate it, Alan. We'll talk soon. That was the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show on the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.